So hello everyone. So today we are going to present you our work we have achieved on lean management in Ikera. So one question we have to start: what if you could cut your software delivery time by over 70% without compromising quality? That is exactly what we aim to achieve. That is reducing our cycle from 161 days to around 21 days. So today we present you the story of how lean and agile principles transform our delivery process. So myself, Yasin, platform delivery manager at Ikera, and Shweta, one senior software engineer in my team. So a brief presentation of Ikera. Our headquarters is based in Paris, France. We have around 2,000 employees globally. Our core business is debt purchasing, is acquisition of non-performing loans and debt servicing, management and recovery of unpaid debts. Our market is primarily in France and Italy. And we have worldwide location, including Mauritius and Morocco. So today, our IT team is based in Mauritius, and we are presenting from Mauritius. So Ikera mission is to support large companies and financial institutions throughout the customer financial cycle. So what is DsoSuite? DsoSuite is one of our SaaS platform for debt collections. We have 30 plus active B2B clients. So its primary goal is to help organizations to reduce days sales outstanding, what we call DSO, optimize cash flow, and improve customer relationships. As I said, our delivery team and support team is based in Mauritius, and our business analysts, project managers, and clients mainly in France. So we have one tech lead, 8 dev, 3 QAs, and around 3 business analysts, which cause a high cross-functional complexity. So we move to our first part, the problem. So what was the problem? So before we started this this transformation, delivering a single feature took us around 161 days, which is more than 5 months. So 5 months before our customers could see any value. This long lead time created multiple challenges: delayed feedbacks, increased risk of requirements becoming obsolete, and frustration for both business and clients. So in today's fast-moving market, 161 days is far too long. We needed a radical shift, not just to improve speed, but to stand out from competitors by reducing our time to market. So while I said for client was waiting, time to delivery was long, and our team also was exhausted. This prolonged delivery cycle put significant stress on team, leading to fatigue, and also the complexity of coordination across multiple roles and geographies amplified the pressure. So we realized that speed alone was not enough. One question we had: how do we deliver faster? So many people will tend to say we increase the size of the team, but this is not really the solution. Trying to deliver faster without improving how we work would only create more chaos. We needed to rethink our entire approach, not just to move faster, but to work smarter and do it without compromising quality. That became the foundation of our transformation. So next part, we try to explain quickly the causes. Uh, so our exist our process before. So as you can see, the main phases here. So the business analyst would work with the client to collect the requirements and create the epics in Jira. And then we move to the analysis. This phase, developer phase, and delivery or testing. Um, we we can see here uh, the causes we identified. We were we were we were there were often significant delay before we reach sprint planning and development phase. Uh, in the analysis phases also, we were not doing enough technical analysis to identify all our dependencies and impact. And regularly in our development phases, blockers or requirements were being detected, resulting in back and forth qualification with business analysis and even sometimes with client. Um, this also caused many context switching among the dev due to reprioritization or defects. So we now move to present you a bit the actions we implemented in the IT department at ICAO. It was a journey. So it started with our Lean Academy, a Lean training, which gave us the tools to tackle the problem solving. We also, one of the tools we use is the A3 approach. We set up our visual management board in Miro. We had to use Miro because our team is located uh, in, uh, in different geographical location. This allowed us to make our activities and challenges visible to everyone and transparent. Um, so once we have our visual management board, we see issues, problems, and we try to resolve them using PDCAs. To reinforce this, we run 2 weekly PDCA dojo sessions, one within the DsoSuite team itself, and one across all IT teams within IKERA, and with the active participation of our CTO. So every team member has the opportunity to contribute to continuous improvement. We also revisited our team structure and reorganized our team into 4 mini squads, allowing more autonomy and focus. We also we have also written started to do standards. So this change enabled us to combine agile practices with the principles of the Toyota Production System, TPS, and extreme programming. This is an overlook of the agile principles we will try to showcase in the next slides. So the preparation phase and the build, how we plan and organize work upfront to avoid delays, our visual management, making work visible using tools like Agile box, our teamwork, working in focus time box iterations, and I will say, as I said before, also continuous improvement doing standards and doing PDCAs. So now, Shweta, my colleague, will share more details on the practices and present agile work, illustrating each step with some examples.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Yasin. Hi, everyone. I am Shweta Sabane from Ikera, Mauritius, and I'll take you further into how we have integrated lean management principles into the splitting of Epic. Okay, so before we go into the process of splitting, let me brief you about Epic. So what is Epic? Epic is basically the set of requirements which we get from the business analyst. They gather it, they provide us in a written form. And this we need to analyze, we implement it, and then we deliver it further. Now here, if you see, this is a real example of Epic which we use in DsoSuite application. In fact, this is a current Epic which we are implementing, and this is a quite huge Epic. So in DsoSuite, when we have a huge Epic, we tend to divide it into sub-epics. If it is not a huge Epic, then we divide it into the smallest task, which can be called as user stories. Before we implemented Lean, and we were given the Epic to be implemented, we used to do high-level estimation. So high-level estimation, though those were also real-time estimations being done in a collaborative analysis session, but those were high-level, like we were not actually diving into the technical code we are doing now. And the dependencies of the task were not identified, the gap analysis was not done, the blockers were not being identified. And this led to the developer dive directly into the development. And this led to actually a lot of delays. Now, if we move into the Epic splitting in DsoSuite, so let me tell you what is splitting exactly in terms of Epic. So Epic splitting is process of breaking down the large complex components into smaller, independent, and deliverable components, testable components. And the primary goal of the split is to make a project easier to plan, to assign, and to track. When is it used? It is used whenever we get an Epic to implement. Who does it? It is done in a collaborative analysis session. We have a team of business analysts, testing team, and the developer team. So we all together do the analysis and the splitting of this Epic. No. Next one. Where is it used? It is used basically in the DsoSuite application right now, but because it was a huge success using it, so in future we are planning to implement it another teams also, other teams also. Why is it used? It is basically used because it helps in the faster delivery. It helps to manage the complexity, and it also helps in improving the flow. How is it done? It is done in the Epic analysis session, as I told you, and then we slowly move into the structured planning in the same splitting session. Now, let me tell you about the splitting standards and the processes which we follow, the steps which we follow in splitting. So this is the standard. If you see, this is the standard we use. We have created this standard for splitting. And to use this standard, we make a use of visual tool. So visual tool is basically, it helps in the clarity of the requirements. It helps to make you understand the requirements in a better way. And when we are doing this session, we all are sharing the same understanding in the session. So everybody's in the same page. And in the same session, we also try to identify the blockers, if there are any, and the dependencies, if there are any. And if there are any issues, we try to, if it is possible, then we try to resolve the issue in this session itself. Now, there are three segments of the standard. If you see, the first session is the design session, in which we have the current as well as the desired state of the application of the epic, which is highlighted in yellow. The second segment is about the splitting and the dependency of the task. So here we are creating the task and we are creating the dependency mapping diagram. And the third and last but not the least is the planning with Hijinka box. So planning, this is a sequential kind of planning where we use Hijinka box tool. So let's go forward with the step one. The step one is design. So as I have told you that the design, we see the current state as well as the desired state. So first we have to identify the current state of an application. So the current state of the impacted module in the epic. So that refers to the current state. The next step is to identify the desired state. Now, the desired state is basically the new requirements which we are going to implement. If you see this diagram, the yellow highlighted part is the new requirement, the desired state. And the third the third part in this is gap analysis. Gap analysis is nothing but just the difference between the current state and the desired state. And if you see on the right hand side of this image, there is the gap analysis being done over here. So you can see the admin, you can see the gap between initial and desired state, and task to do's is the desired state. And we need to close this gap. To close this gap in DsoSuite, what we do the small sprints, which are weekly basis. So this is how we close the gap. So the next is the step two. The step two is basically splitting and the task dependency. So this step is where we are creating the task. Now the task we have to create is the smallest task possible. So if you see, there are so many tasks being created. And as I told you, the epic, if it is huge, it has to be divided into sub-epics, otherwise the smallest deliverable task. And this is the task dependency diagram. So what we do, we create the task, and then we have to find out the dependent task first. If you don't find out the dependent task and prioritize, then you will end up doing some task, and then the dependent task will be done later. And then, I mean, that will waste a lot of time in waiting for the dependent task to be done. So here we also do the estimation for each and every task. And yes, we try to identify the blockers. In this example, if you see the yellow squared box, basically that is a blocker which we have identified and put it in yellow so that everybody knows. If it can be resolved, then okay. Otherwise, we send a query to the responsible party. Next. Okay. The third step is planning with Hijinka. Sorry, the next is task overview. Task overview, basically here we want to tell you how we have created the task, what is the task, how are the tasks, how they are estimated and all. So the task here we try to create is the atomic task, the smallest possible task. So smallest possible means in our application, if you see, we have even created the task of 1 hour. So the smaller the task is, the better it is. And the maximum we allow the resources to create a task is of 1 day. So not more than 1 day the task should be created. We have to force them so that it manages the workload. And these tasks, once created, they are actually being documented into the user stories. So the user stories have to be very crystal clear so that if ever there's a new resource coming in, or there's another resource who does not have the business knowledge of this functionality which has to be implemented as a part of Epic, then he is ready to work. He is not dependent on anyone. Now, the advantages of doing this kind of task creation and everything is it's easy to plan for the day or the week. You have the visibility, the resource has a visibility, what he's going to do for the day, for the whole week, or for the whole Epic time. He is well oriented, he is well focused. All these tasks are single focus task. And here you get the awareness of if there is any dependency or the blocker, you can mark it here. And that is how we save time in this. The next is planning with Hijunka. Now, Hijunka, if you know, it is basically about the load leveling. Now, what after this task dependency has been done, we move to this. And this is basically Hijunka basically ask you about what it is, what is the task, how much you have to do in the task, and when is the task going to complete. And why we use Hijunka, it basically does the load leveling. It smooths out the workload. So like I told you, if we have forced that the maximum estimation for a task cannot last more than 1 day. So it helps in the workload leveling a lot. It eliminates the overburden. So even if there are large projects which have to be done simultaneously, but because we are doing this kind of planning, the resource will never be overburdened. Because we use this Hijunka, we know what is going to happen. This is a predictable kind of flow which we follow. It improves the team focus. The resource is always focused on what he is doing, what he's going to do tomorrow, what he has done yesterday and today. It helps in the speedy delivery also. The right task in parallel. If you see on Monday, there are 2 tasks being created and both of these tasks are actually being assigned to different resources. So if you have multiple resources available on that time slot, then you can assign these tasks and then they can do it parallelly, leading to the speedy delivery. It also reduces context switching phase. So I remember then that there were stages before we implemented Lean, where we had to switch the context. We had to switch between different tickets, like large ticket to small urgent ticket. And this used to waste a lot of time, used to waste a lot of effort, mental effort and everything. So this has really enhanced in the reducing elimination of the waste. Now let's talk about the daily management. Now, once the Hijunka planning is being done, what we do, like Yasin has told, that we had a large team and we had divided into smaller squads. Now these smaller squads, we have daily meeting for each of these. So we discuss this Hijunka planning in the daily squad. So this is basically the squad is between the business analyst, the testers, the developers, and the lead. We discuss about what we have done yesterday, what we are going to do today. So basically the status. But let's take an example. Today is Friday. So let's take it look at the Friday and the Thursday partition. The blocks which you see in green are, we use this green color that, okay, this task has been completed. We use this orange block on the Friday. If you see, that means we have to do this task. So on Friday, when the resource joins the squad meeting, he'll tell, okay, Thursday, I have done this and this task. Oh, there was a task in red, but I was not able to complete it. Why? Because there was some issue. Now, this issue can be a small issue, which we try to discuss in the squad meeting. And if it is somebody can help and he can work it out within an hour, then okay, it's manageable. But in case this issue may take a long time, like it is dependent on somebody or something, then we need to discuss about this. Do we need to assign some resource for this task, or do we need to replan the estimation? And then if there's a waiting period, then we can move on to the task which you see on the Friday. So basically in the daily meeting, we fix issues in real time. And after every module is being completed under the epic, after the epic is basically completed, we try to do frequent demos. The demos are again between the same team, and we try to get if there are any issues, be it technical or functional, and if we can resolve it. So before the user acceptance testing, we have everything clear, and that is how we deal with it. Thank you so much. Now I hand over back to Yasin.
During all this journey, we share some lessons learned with you. So first, we have enabled true continuous delivery. Can you hear me? Okay. I just resume. So during this journey, we'll share with you some lessons learned. First is we enable true continuous delivery. We adopted is the use of feature flags instead of large state mergers. So we gain precise control over our work in progress and will reduce deployment risk. Secondly, we implemented a pull system. Now we start new epics when current work is done. This simple change drastically reduces the context switching and has improved focus among the developers. We have standardized key processes and from doing this. This also helps to accelerate our flow and reduce variability. I said before, we also established weekly PDCAs and this to improve our continuous improvement. And we also enable cross-functional collaboration. We use a more collaborative environment for everyone. I will then showcase you some results before we complete. So here, as you can see, we started doing the Agile training with the team around mid-April 2025. We can see before how our epics were being delivered. Deliveries were scattered and they were taking a long time. And you can see now where it stands. So here, as we stand today, we are more predictable, we can deliver more, and we can deliver in faster. For quality, so we are still doing progress to reduce our number of bugs on production. But what we have observed is that the ratio of bugs and between the bugs and features delivered has drastically dropped. So this is also a very positive thing for us. And also we have improved our speed on production. We have moved initially from monthly releases, then to twice to 2 weeks delivery, and now we are more into a weekly delivery on production. And also we know that we don't have blocking bugs in production. Some feedback to complete this presentation from the dev team. So tasks are smaller, we say tasks are smaller and accessible. Any team member, like Shweta said, even a new team member can integrate the team and start delivering quickly. We have improved visibility and pending tasks. Planning is both well-defined and flexible. And from the business owners, and especially the people in France and the management team, they have increased confidence in the development team's ability to deliver. We have also noted great initiative and ownership around our team members. We have the fact that we have divided in smaller squads, so everyone has the potential to develop their leadership skills, and also the team overall has also significantly improved. So quickly, next steps that we'll try to do. So we'll try to measure more our quality. We will continue with standardization, and we will try to do more continuous delivery. Why not deliver every day? This is one target we have by doing continuous delivery and automated deliveries. And also we will try to improve, we're trying to improve our KPI section in our visual management. So thank you everyone for listening. If you have any questions, you can, I don't know if we still have some time to take questions, or else you can also contact us, me or Shweta. our email here. So feel free to reach out and share feedbacks or if you have questions. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Oh, hello, everyone. So we have some questions on the discussion panel. So Chepo asked us, said that it's a great presentation, but how long
So
is the
I'll
planning
take a
activity?
question from Sepo. The planning activity, it depends on the complexity of the epic. So we, by experience, a simple epic can take 0.5 days, and normally complex one it can goes to 2 days. But it's not 2 days wasted. What we have observed is even if we spend 2 days doing the planning activity, we can gain in the development stage. We go faster and we have less bugs. I hope this answer to your question. Any more question?
So there is no more questions right now. So I think we have to
Yeah, we can't hear you. Sorry.
Sorry, do you hear me now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So
it's okay now.
yeah, so we have to finish.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.